Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about EAFC. We'll be using FIFA 23 to look at some of the player cards, but we're going to be talking about some of the potentially highest rated players on the game. Now in this video, I am going to do a prediction for my top 10. I've tried to order it. It's one of these where you never know with the ratings, but you generally have a pretty good idea. The first 5 or 6 cards in this video are going to be honourable mentions. These are guys that I think have a slight chance of being in the top 10, some more than others, but probably not. And they're not in my predicted top 10. My predicted top 10 isn't based on what I would do as the top 10. It's based on what I believe EA will make the top 10. So bear that in mind if you want to criticise and jump on what I'm saying. And of course, let me know in the comments who you would like to see. You don't need to put your prediction. You could say who you would actually have as your top 10, maybe even like top 3. So the first player in this video I'm going to talk about, an honourable mention, is Casemiro. I can't see him being in the top 10. I think to be in the top 10, you're going to need to be 89 rated or better as a minimum. Maybe even 90, but probably 89 or better. I think Casemiro might maintain this level. He was very good for Man U, but second half of the season wasn't quite as good. I could see him dropping to an 88, maybe even 87, but I think 88 is the most likely rated for him, so I don't think he is going to be in the top 10, but there is a chance. You never know the way EA will go. Because Casemiro doesn't have high pace as well, he tends to get higher ratings in other areas to make up for it. Edison, I think Edison's one of the most likely players not in my top 10 to be in there. Simply put, Edison is the goalkeeper for one of the best teams, if not the best team in the world. Team who just did the historic treble. Very good keeper. I don't rate him as highly in real life as some other people do, especially when it comes to his shot stopping. But he obviously is perfect for the system Pep needs. And I think he has become a better keeper in the last few years. I think he will maintain an 89 rating. There is a chance he goes to a 90. If Edison goes to a 90, he will 100% be in the top 10 in my opinion. Neymar. Neymar, I don't think should be downgraded. I do think Neymar is still a brilliant player. However, he's been quite injured over the last few years. Didn't really do a lot of the World Cup from memory. PSG, again, had a bit of a disappointing season in Europe. Could Neymar get a downgrade to an 88? Potentially. I think he should maintain an 89. And that wasn't enough this year to get him into the top 10. So, whilst I think Neymar is one of the best players ever, potentially, I don't think he will be in the top 10 next year. Salah. Liverpool had a very disappointing season. Didn't make Champions League. Salah, numbers-wise, was still very good. But because of Liverpool's bad season, I do think there's a decent chance EA downgrade him. I think even then he was just about around the top 10 last year. So will Salah be in the top 10? If he gets a 90 again, decent chance of it. And numbers-wise, maybe he deserves to be there still. But with EA, you never know. He had a bad season in terms of his club and what they achieved. So I think there's a decent chance of a downgrade. Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he should be downgraded quite a lot. It's not a knock on him. He's had a brilliant career. He's one of the, if not the best footballer ever. But he's, 38 now? Going to be 39 during the middle of the season. He's played in the Saudi League. I think a fair rating for him at this point of his career is probably like an 83, 84. Some people might think that's a bit drastic. An 83 or an 84 rated player is still very good rating. You have to bear in mind, this is when he's going to be 39. I think he might be the best ever. But at this point of his career, he's a lot past it. I just think with EA, there's always a chance an 89 or 90 rating he could keep it. I don't think he should, but you never know. Benzema, he is the current Ballon d'Or holder, but he's moving to the Saudi League. Had a decent year, but not that good a year, especially nowhere near the standards before. I think he's probably the highest rated or most likely player to be in the top 10 that I did included it. I do think, though, he deserves a decent downgrade, probably to like an 89, maybe even 88. Playing in the Saudi League should hurt his rating, I would imagine. So, at the end of the day, Benzema, I don't think will be in it. And then the last card that we've got that I don't think will be in the top 10, but has a good chance. I think him, Edison, and Benzema are the best chances of being in the top 10 that I'm not putting in there is Van Dijk. Again, like I said with Salah, didn't have a great season in terms of his club. I think Van Dijk's level has dropped quite drastically from a few years ago. It's fair enough. He's 32 now, just turned 32. He had a cruciate ligament injury, which really hurt his pace. He was really fast. I know EA hasn't really changed his pace much, but Van Dijk was really fast, probably like 90 pace in real life equivalent. I think it's peak. Losing that pace has hurt him. And he's just getting older. I think his prime is one of the best centre backs ever to play football. I think he was that good. But I don't think he's good enough anymore in terms of to be justified as a 90. I would put him as like an 88. So there we go. Number 10 in terms of my top 10 that I think will be there is Joshua Kimmich. I think he'll at least maintain the 89. There's always a chance for 90. This just about gets you around top 10 right now. Ruben Diaz. I think Ruben Diaz, there's a good chance Ruben Diaz goes to an 89 or a 90. Treble winning, probably the best defender in that team. Entering his prime. I think he at least goes to an 89. The fact he's slower as well tends to help their rating. Alisson, for me, had a very good season for Liverpool. I know I've said about Liverpool players getting downgraded potentially because of how bad Liverpool were, at least for their standards. But I think Alisson is the best keeper in the Prem. Keepers tend to historically get high ratings. Neuer and Oblak were two honourable mentions I didn't put in, but I don't think they're at their best anymore. Harry Kane. Harry Kane, in my opinion, was the best player in the Premier League last season. Haaland won the award, got the record amount of goals ever. Harry Kane wasn't a mile behind him on goals, I don't think. It was maybe 6, 7. And he was playing for the team who finished 8th in the league compared to the best team in the world. Harry Kane, in my opinion, is the best striker in world football right now. I think he's better than Haaland. I think he's better than Mbappe. I just don't think EA will see it that way, so I'm going to put him number 8. But I think Harry Kane at least deserves to go to a 90 based on how good he was this season. Number 7, Messi. Messi is still very good. The move to the MLS should drastically hurt him, you would imagine. He is 36 now. However, he's still playing at a very high level. Ronaldo at that age was still around this level on FIFA. EA tend to start really like Messi. I'd be very surprised if Messi drops below a 90. I think a 90 might happen, but don't see him dropping below that. Number 5, Lewandowski. I feel like he got the golden boot in La Liga last year. Could be wrong there. Still firing the goals in. Still playing at one of the best clubs in the world. I'd be very surprised if Lewandowski doesn't maintain another good rating. I think we're going to the top 5 now. Courtois. Best keeper in the world for me. I don't think there's much debate that he'll be in the top 10. This might even be third now. That's our top 3 that we've got here. So we've got Mbappe, De Bruyne, and Haaland. This is the order I've put it in. Haaland at 3, De Bruyne at 2, Mbappe at 1. 2 players at City. You never know. They might put Haaland above Mbappe because Haaland's going to be the cover boy. I think Haaland being the cover boy and breaking the Premier League goal record, he at least goes to a 90. I feel like I've seen leaks of people saying he's going to be a 91. I think he's justified to at least be a 90. If he goes to a 91, having such a good season, Man City being great, and he's the cover boy, he would be top 3 in the game. Number 2, De Bruyne, treble winning season. He had a phenomenal season. Don't see him going above a 91, but I think he'll maintain the rating at least. And then Mbappe, he's been cover boy, had a good relationship with EA for years. No reason to downgrade him based on how he's playing in real life. So I think he'll at least maintain this. So I think those 3, all 3 of them could be 91s. I would put Harry Kane as a 91 if I was EA. But yeah, I've based this list on how I think EA will do it. Appreciate you guys watching. As always, keep it spicy. See you guys in the next one. Peace.